Hey everyone, in today's video, I'm going to be going over 10 beginner performer tips for beginners. That's a little bit redundant, but we're just going to move on and pretend like I just didn't say that. And we're also going to pretend like I know how to use basic English. I'm going to be going over 3 tips for acting, 3 tips for dancing, and 3 tips for singing, because triple threat, and 1 overall general performance tip. This is all going to be stage performing. These will be basics that will hopefully apply to you in basically any situation in theater. If you like the video, don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoy my content, and if you don't, well then don't do that. I'll be a little sad, but bye, I guess. If you have any friends that enjoy musical theater, don't forget to share the video and share my channel with them and say, hey, go subscribe, because if you don't, you're going to face towards the piano at your next audition. No biggie. I post musical theater related content every week. Kind of. I try. First, I'm going to start with my personal favorite and probably my best area of my performing: singing. The first tip will be make sure to warm up properly, and preferably before you get to the theater or the studio or wherever you're rehearsing and or performing. Not only does this allow you to have more time to prepare for actual rehearsal or performance, it's also really good because it makes you look extremely professional, like directors like that. Secondly, vocal health. Take care of your voice, because goodness knows I certainly have a hard time doing that. And if you're wondering what this is the script in my hand. So if you hear rustling around, that's what that is. I feel like I suck at keeping my voice healthy. Like, I have to really try to make sure I don't strain my voice or sing too much, because I sing all the time and it's really hard for me not to sing. Talking sometimes can also strain your voice more than singing, depends on what type of talking you're doing. Me talking strains my voice if I talk too much, because let's be honest, I talk too much. If anyone knows me, I talk way too much, especially before shows. If I have to be very careful. I basically have to go on vocal rest before shows, because if I don't, I'm just going to talk and talk and talk and talk. So maybe this is less about tips and me just giving you a warning to learn from my mistakes. Yeah, isn't that what tips are anyways? Whether it's during a run of a show or rehearsals, take care of your voice, because if you don't, I'm going to be sad, and you don't want to make me sad, do you? Throat coat tea. Drink it. Dairy and sugar? Preferably don't, especially not directly before shows. Some people sing fine after drinking dairy or sugar or having anything dairy or sugar. Me, I have it the worst. It just messes up my voice. I lose part of my range, my runs go away. It's really bad. So if you're like me, don't do it. Be safe. Don't do dairy. And lastly, on the subject of vocal health, if you feel tense in your throat, maybe a little sore throat after singing or talking, you're straining your voice, stop that. And for the third singing tip, this applies to ensemble specifically. If you're singing ensemble, remember, your voice is just as important as the lead singers. If you're singing a big ensemble number, chances are that's a pretty big showstopper. If you aren't putting in the work because you think that just because there's more people around singing, since you're not center stage in the spotlight, you're okay, or you don't have to work as hard, or you don't have to sing out as much, you're wrong. Stop that. No, but seriously, the key to a good ensemble is putting in the work, knowing what you're doing, and singing confidently and singing out while also making sure to blend, because you don't want to be that person. I'm looking at you, Teresa. The key to a good ensemble is making sure that you're confident. That's kind of a real beginner thing, kind of, like singing, but I feel like that kind of gets overlooked because a lot of times you mainly just think of the leads as the people who need to sing out and sing well, but when you're in the ensemble, it's just as important. Next, acting. First thing, connections. Connections are a big thing. It's probably one of the most important things when acting with people. Knowing your connections are like what your character thinks about that character. Do you know them? Do you not know them? What memories have you created or shared with each other? Knowing your relationship with your scene partner is vital to come across as an authentic actor on stage. Beginners tend to act, as in project out to the audience in the scene instead of connecting with the person they're acting to. Just recently, I went to a small youth theater production, and out of everyone, the person who stood out to me the most was the person who actually looked at the other person, looked in their eyes, made eye contact during scenes, and really made a connection with that person. I still remember it, the most memorable performance of that night, because of that one basic tiny thing that might seem insignificant, but it actually is very, very important. The second tip really plays off the first tip in that it helps us coming across as authentic when you're on stage, and that is backstory. Knowing what your character thinks of certain people, memories they've had with them, why they do what they do, certain personality traits, certain personality quirks, why your character does what they do, and who they know and what the relationship is to people on stage is vital for an authentic performance. Go through the entire character list of the show and write up all the experiences that your characters had with them. Do they like them? Do they hate them? Are they in love with them? Go through and write all that up and create vivid details for your backstory to make your character unique. And for the third acting tip, have fun with it. If you've put in the work at home in creating a rich and authentic backstory, you should have no trouble in playing in the playground of creativity that you've created. That's a lot of created. Now, please excuse me while my hair gel decides to fail me and make me look like a 10-year-old. Find new discoveries, make new connections, keep your performance fresh. The more you go through the motions of the scene, the less fun you'll have and the worse you'll perform. See every run-through as an opportunity to make new discoveries. Don't get complacent. Switch things up every now and then and have fun with it. Just not too much fun. Don't improv too much, or at all, depending on what the show is. Dancing. That's a thing that exists. Now, I'm not as experienced of a dancer as I am actor and singer, so I'm just going to keep these more beginner and general tips more towards more performing while dancing and less dance specifically, because I'm not a dance instructor. You don't want me as your dance instructor. I may be a dancer, but I'm not a teacher. First tip I'd give is similar to the first singing tip, and that's making sure you're warmed up. Make sure you've stretched properly. I know it's pretty basic, but it honestly gets overlooked. You'd be surprised about how many times I've gotten to the theater, gotten ready to do a run through, and I had totally forgotten to stretch. Bad James. Don't be me. Bad James. It's okay. I've learned from my mistakes, and I have vowed to be a better man. Not only does it make you less flexible, but you also just dance worse. Imagine singing without warming up. You just sing worse. Imagine doing anything without warming up. You just do it worse. Get your butt on the floor and start stretching. Kind of obvious, I know, but it's really easy to overlook. Secondly, if you're having trouble with a section of choreo, make sure you slow it down without the track so you can get it right instead of just trying to do it at full speed with the track over and over and over and over again and messing up on technique. Also, it'll help you get less frustrated. Finally, practice. Make sure you're spending enough time on the material to wherever the moves really get into your body and so you don't have to think about dancing. That is a big one. The moment that you can get out of your head and get into character while you're dancing on stage is the moment that you can take your performance to the next level. Now finally, as a general tip, I know it sounds simple, but put in the work at home. Practice. Do the work. Practice. Spend time in your script. Work on those vocals. Practice the dance moves. Do everything you can to make sure that you are the most prepared person in the room. You can have all the talent in the world, but if you don't practice, you're gonna get nowhere. Once you put in the work to create that rich character backstory, those confident vocal lines, and enthusiastic dancing, that's when you can really enjoy the performance, find new discoveries, and be the best performer you can be. You never know when someone's gonna look at you on stage and see you're smiling and see you're dancing and just be uplifted. That is the power of theater. That is the power of performing. I hope you've enjoyed. I hope this video has helped you improve if you're a beginner, and if you're not a beginner, well, I hope you've enjoyed just watching my beautiful face, because it truly is a work of art. I don't know. There's nothing funny about that. Why did I do that? Anyway, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe and share the video to all your friends, because you know I need attention. Help me. I feel like I make that joke every video. I don't know. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in another video.